So what if I told you that forgiveness is a major key to becoming a better parent? And you can learn how to forgive anyone for anything. Would you do it? Well, not only can you forgive anyone for anything and be a better parent, I can show you a process where you can learn how to do all this over a weekend. So stick around until the end and learn about this process today. So oftentimes you hear men and women who are parents say that they are the way that they are because of the way that their parents raised them. For some of us, it could be the things that you feel like your parents didn't do in your life. And for others, it could be some of the negative takeaways that you had that caused you to do some of the things that you do. Some people say, as an adult, you are the exact way that your parents were, or either you're the total opposite. I hear a lot of parents say that they never had a man around or never had a mom around to show them how to be a man, to show them how to be a woman, to show them how to be a parent, or even show them how to have intimate relationships. Well, today is your chance to remove all those negative strongholds that stem from your past and your negative takeaways that you have from your past. Okay, so we're going to just jump right in and we're going to start with step number one. Step number one is when you discover the who. All right, so this is where you ask yourself, who has caused me emotional pain as a kid in my childhood? All right, so who has contributed to me being the way that I am in the negative ways, or what I perceive as the negative ways in the way that I raise my children? Okay, so let's put the who down. Starting with, in this case, it could be your mom, your dad, your parent, your grandparent, whoever it is that you feel like contributed something out, in this case, negative or hurtful in your life as a child. Okay, so let's just, for the purpose of this experience, we'll just say your mom or dad. All right, so your mom is the first who. All right, so after you put your mom's name down, then after that it may be your dad. After that, the next name could be Grandma Pearl. After then, it could be a school teacher or someone of that nature, right? So, and we're just going to keep moving down. It could be an aunt. It could be an uncle. You know, it could be people in the neighborhood. So that's the who, all right? Next, we'll go to the what. Now, with the what is it that this person did to you, okay? Try to be specific about what they did to you. There's a catch to this, but I want you to start off with the what this person did to you. And beside each name, there'll be, well, for someone that you had an intimate relationship, such as a parent, beside your mom's name, there's going to be multiple things beside that one person's name that was actually harmful, hurtful, that caused you any type of fear, caused you any type of anxiety, caused you maybe not to be as emotional, maybe too emotional, you know, maybe being a little more stern than what's necessary or than you would even like to be, or cause you trust issues or whatever it may be, okay? So whatever you feel like it is that this person did to you, I want you to write those down, okay? And then after you finish with one name and everything that you can think of that this person may have done to you to cause you any type of emotional pain or baggage, then I want you to move to the next thing and do the same process for every name that's on your list under the who. Okay? So, in this example, the who was your mom, and the what, we're going to put left home. All right? So, let's just simply put, she left home, or left home when I was 9 years old. All right? Or my dad left home when I was 9 years old. That's the what. This next step is similar to the what, but it's actually what did you make it mean? All right? So this is when you get clear, and that's why I wanted you to be specific in the what, as something as simple as saying, my mom left home when I was 9 years old, okay? Because in this step, what you made it mean is when you're going to go into how it made you feel. What was your takeaway, or what were you thinking in the moment when your mom left home, okay? So the what you made it mean could be, everyone will leave me, or I can't trust anyone. Or you may have been harboring some feelings of hate towards your parent for leaving home when you were 9 years old. So let's go over this again. First step is the who, which is your mom. Next step is the what, which is she left home when I was 9 years old. After then, what did you make it mean? What you made it mean is that I can never trust anyone, or everyone will leave. The next step will be your forgiveness declaration. I know that it seems like we may be moving to the forgiveness part of this rather quickly, but I want you to know that this is a simplified process, and this process is the most simplified process that I've ever discovered that can take you from having that emotional pain and from having those feelings of hate or those feelings of not being able to trust people to actually just examining what it is that they actually did and separating that from what you made it mean and really just forgive them for exactly what they did, okay? All right? So a key to this before you begin this declaration process is for you to look at the what you made it mean compared to the what in the situation, all right? Because oftentimes there are some things that we started off in the what category, but they really look more like what you made it mean, okay? We want to examine these two and ask ourselves, is this really a what, or is it what I made it mean, okay? Is this really part of the reality and the truth of what happened, or is it really my perception of what happened, okay? All right? Now, both of them are valid and both of them are fair, but for the purpose of your forgiveness declaration, we're going to forgive for exactly what the person did. For example, when we're saying I'm going to forgive you for leaving home when I was 9 years old versus I'm going to forgive you for never loving me or forgive you for everyone would ever leave me based off of what I experienced with you, or forgive you for me hating you most of my life, then that's not a fair thing to do. All right? So we're going to really evaluate the what in the situation, the fact, the truth of the matter of what has happened, and we're going to forgive for that thing, okay? All right, so this is my definition of forgiveness, okay? My definition of forgiveness for the sake of this work and this process that we're learning today is no longer needing or expecting anything from my mom in order for me to be okay. All right? So you may have been waiting for your parent to come and ask for forgiveness. You may have been waiting for your parent to say that I'm sorry for leaving all those years ago, and I want a better relationship, and I want to be a better grandparent. But you know what? The reality is that may never happen. And if that doesn't ever happen, you still have to know that you're going to be okay. You're not sitting around waiting for that to happen in order for you to be okay. You may want that to happen so that your relationship can improve. But for the sake of you being okay, you don't need and you're not expecting for that to happen anymore. So this forgiveness declaration is really more of a declaration to yourself, a declaration where you're deciding that from this day forward, I'm going to be okay with or without you doing anything more than what you've already done. Okay? So once you've decided in your heart that you're going to be okay, that you don't need or expect anything from that other person for you to be okay, that's when you've reached the point of being ready for this forgiveness process, okay? Now, if you still think that you do need something from this person for you to be okay, or you feel like you haven't decided that you're going to forgive this person, not for what you made it mean, but for the exact thing that they did, and regardless of what they did, that you're deciding from this point on to be okay. I didn't say that you necessarily had to have a trusting, loving relationship from this day forward. But what I am saying is that you've decided that you're going to be okay moving forward within you, within your heart, within your mind. The decision has already been made. And when you're ready to do that, this is the process. So this is how a forgiveness declaration would sound, all right? Mom, I forgive you for leaving home when I was 9 years old. When you say this, you believe it. When you breathe out slowly, you're releasing the unforgiveness. You're releasing the pain. You're releasing needing that person to do something in order for you to be okay. And when you inhale, you're inhaling forgiveness. You're inhaling freedom. You're inhaling a better you. Now, this process may feel like there's a ton of weight lifted off your shoulders. Or in this process, you may not feel very much at all. But just know for each thing on this list and each person that you remove from this list makes the load that you carry through life lighter. And as this load becomes lighter, you become a better person. As you become a better person, you're able to build better relationships. You're able to be a better parent. You may even find yourself at being a better child to your parent. Okay? So you're going to go under each person's name. You'll find the what. And with the what, you're going to do a forgiveness declaration. And after you finish one, you'll move down to the next what on the page and do a declaration for that until you've done them for every what under that one person's name. After you finish that person, then you'll go to the next person and repeat that process. If you're not ready to say that I'm going to be okay without needing or expecting anything from that person for that particular thing, then move on to the next thing on the list, okay? It may become easier for you or less difficult after you got a few forgiveness declarations and the weight of it feeling lighter off of you. Then you may be ready to go back to that particular thing and remove that as well. Okay? So that's the forgiveness declaration process, all right? So the next thing here is, what are you going to make it mean going forward? Okay? What are you going to make this thing mean going forward? This is where you take what I made it mean, all right? And then right beside it, I want you to do a similar thing and say, now I realize what I made it mean in the past, but now that I've done this forgiveness declaration and I'm saying to myself that I no longer need or expect anything from this person in order for me to be okay, what does okay look like for me going forward? All right? So this is when you say, from now on, this is what I'm going to make this experience mean for me moving forward. All right? All right, so let's just walk back through this process one more time. All right? So we had the who, which was your mom. You had the what, which was left home when I was 9 years old. What you made it mean was everyone will leave. All right? The declaration is, I forgive you for leaving home when I was 9 years old. Okay? Now we're at the what we're going to make all this mean. It's no longer going to mean everyone will leave me, but instead, moving forward, what I'm going to make it mean is I am the bridge to a stronger, connected family. All right? Or our latter shall be greater than our beginning. All right? So the new takeaway, or the new what I'm going to make it mean going forward so that I can be a better parent, is that I realize I'm acknowledging what has happened. All right? But I'm saying going forward, what it looks like when I'm no longer needing or expecting anything to be okay, what it looks like when I am okay, is that our latter will be greater than the beginning. Okay? And that I am the bridge to a stronger, connected family. All right? So let's just take a look at that, because that's a very powerful statement there. I am the bridge to a stronger, connected family. You see, for most of us, we truly do repeat the process over and over again that we experience and that our parents experience, and now our children are experiencing the same thing that we experience. It's not a coincidence that it happens this way. Either from a spiritual standpoint, we can understand it. From a psychological standpoint, we can understand it. From a nature and nurture perspective, we can understand it. But now that we have this understanding, we have to say, okay, I realize that I'm not having a great relationship with my kids. All right? And I'm going to tell you the most powerful tool that I discovered is that if you want to have better relationships with your kids, a key to that is actually you becoming a better child. You didn't hear that wrong. It's for you to become a better child to your parent. Okay? So how could you expect for your child in your situation to run smoothly, or let's just say differently, than it did with you and your parent? You see, because your child is a child. Let's say that they don't know any better. Let's say they haven't been shown any better. Let's say up until this point, most kids are just takers anyway. You do everything for them. So obviously you're going to care a little bit more for them than they care for you, because you're more invested in them. Scripture tells us that where your treasure is, your heart shall be also. If you're pouring into your child, then of course your feelings and emotions are towards that child, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be reciprocated to you. I offer this to you. Become a better child. The first step to that is what we're doing here. Forgive your parent for whatever it is that they've done to you to cause you emotional pain. But after you've forgiven them, then reach out to them. Whatever it takes for you to be a better child to your parent, okay? So there may be baby steps to that, you know. They may not be totally open to the relationship. It's totally foreign to them. At this point, they're probably in their 50s, 60s, or 70s. And if you've had that relationship up until this point, it may be difficult for them to change. Or they may be waiting with open arms. They may have been wanting this for many years, but just didn't know how to open up to you. Or maybe they did open up to you. Maybe they did reach out to you, but you weren't ready yet. You hadn't decided that you wanted to move forward yet. You hadn't seen how it looks to be the parent with a child that isn't responding to your love and to you reaching out to them. But now you understand it as an adult. And now being an adult, it's time for you to go back to being that person's child, your parent's child. But in this case, you being the bigger person here by reaching out, by forgiving, and not only connecting you guys' bond, that also gives your parent an opportunity to build a bond with their grandkids. And that makes life better for everyone, okay? So that's why I say that you have the opportunity here to be the connection to a stronger family. But not only to these 3 generations, but also the generations to come, okay? Right? So this is your opportunity to forgive anyone for anything, starting with your parent, and become a better parent yourself. This is Tori Bryant, your transformation simplificator. I look forward to talking with you soon.